What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. As always, I've got incredible guests to bring you valuable information, inspiration, and just a lot of value to your life. My next guest is joining us from Southern Florida. He was an entrepreneur at the age of 9, built the biggest paper route by the age of 12, highlighted in local news, owned 5 restaurants and a nightclub by 23, and is the founder of marketingboost.com, and also in his spare time, a ballroom dancer and called Captain Marco. Please welcome Marco Torres to the show. Marco, thank you for joining us today. I tell you, that is quite the background. You were a hustler at a very young age.
Yes, I was. Thank you for having me again, by the way. Yeah, look forward to your show.
Awesome. So, I mean, I kind of highlight a lot of things, but I always like to ask my guests to kind of tell the audience a little bit about their background before we get into the nuts and bolts of what you do today and just like, what brought you to where you are today. So, please tell us, like, where does the fire come from?
Where does that fire come from? Well, thank you, Deanna, for having me. As you pointed out, I started very young, at an early age, as an entrepreneur. I didn't know I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I knew I enjoyed. I loved cash flows. It's a very early age.
Yes, right. Tell me about it.
So I leveraged relationships early on. This is one thing that everybody can take away from on this is I leveraged relationships and always surrounded myself with people that were better than me at certain things. For example, I realized I was good at sales. I enjoyed knocking on doors and selling the subscriptions and doing the collections. Back then, we had to do the collections too. There was no internet to pay your bill. So, but I leveraged hiring guys that didn't mind getting up at 5 a.m. to deliver the papers. So I had my buddies that would reach out. They would be the ones delivering most of the papers. I would deliver as well, but I focused on the sales and marketing. By age 23, I had leveraged my older brother and my mom, and we had opened up 5 restaurants in 5 years. Then I had opened a nightclub on my own with another business partner as well. So my entire life as an entrepreneur, I've never been afraid to leverage relationships and bring in partners, people that had expertise that I didn't, and then parlay that into they do what they're good at, I do what I'm good at, and what I'm good at, and together we build successes, which I still do today in the company that we launched called marketingboost.com, which today is a worldwide service that we provide business owners around the world the tools to scale and grow their business with incentives. And I'll get more into that as we go along, Deanna.
Wow. So did you go to college?
Actually, I dropped out of college after about a year and a few months. I realized, I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't liking it. I'm not good and I wasn't really good as a student, and I wanted to get directly in. And I realized, what, I'll bet you anything. And by the time my buddies are out of college, I'll be employing them. And if I get in business for myself, and sure enough, I had guys that, with college degrees that were bartending for me and helping me run the restaurants or what have you. And so I always felt pretty good about that early on. It's like, you know what? You don't need a college degree to be an entrepreneur, but you do need education nonstop. And I've never stopped educating. One thing people too often, I think one simple message to everybody out there is never stop learning. I've had people tell me I look like the Dos Equis guy in the commercials. So I've got a saying I'm always using, saying, stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. You've got to keep learning. You've got to keep taking courses. You've got to have maybe a business coach. There really is benefit from having other people help guide you, whether it be from courses or from having somebody you're accountable to that you hire as a coach.
You know what? I completely agree. So I love to learn myself, but I'm not a big fan of college. So I went to college for a little bit, and, I've got maybe the equivalent to an associate's, almost a bachelor's degree, but I didn't complete it all the way. I feel like for someone like myself, like you, I learned by hands-on, like learning in like as I go, and just real world experience is going to blow any kind of book knowledge out of the water. So I was an entrepreneur at a very young age. I had a paper route, but I was 13. I was 13. So I started, and I actually, at 13, I had my own like babysitting slash grass cutting slash cleaning houses business. My best girlfriend and I made up flyers. We put it in every mailbox within a 2-mile radius of our houses. And there was a lot of homes there. So like I was busting my butt, and then I had my paper out. And so I would get up super early in the morning. I didn't have anybody helping me, but that was genius. I should have had someone helping me.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I had to interrupt. I was going to say, and today is really so, in my opinion, today has never been easier to be an entrepreneur in many ways. A home-based business that's why there's so many of us doing it. And it's not that hard to reinvent the wheel. You know, you can copy and paste your way to success practically. I call it modeling, but don't reinvent the wheel. You know, find successful people in your niche or other niches and emulate what they do. Even look at. I look at it as being a student of marketing. I'm always looking for what is it that grabs my eye, what sales funnels grab my eye, what Facebook ads grab my eye, what do I click on, and I buy stuff I don't even need just because I go through their process. I want to go through their sales funnel. I want to see their copy that they wrote that continued to engage me and hypnotize me all the way down to the buy button. And if it did that for me, then it will. I want to study that copy. I want to study their sales funnel, their process, their images, their email series. When I drop off and I don't buy the follow up emails they send me, all of that I'm using to potentially grab some ideas from, implement it into my stuff, and almost not copy paste but model and do that. And so. In today's world, I mean, we did that when I first opened the restaurants. I didn't know anything about restaurant business at 19 when we got started. So my older brother and I, we went to work we opened Mexican restaurants. So we went to work for every Mexican restaurant out there. And back then we were taking pictures with Kodak little things and taking pictures of everything in their facilities, their countertops, their stainless steel systems, how they used them, the equipment they ordered, the food they ordered. Essentially, we didn't want to buy a franchise because it was, $100,000+ back then. And we were like, we want to, so we went and learned firsthand and, worked the midnight shift so we could be in with no one watching, taking pictures of everything.
That's smart though.
Yeah.
That was smart to do that.
Hey Dad, how you been? What's going on?
Well, not too much. Spring cleaning time.
Well, did you weed whack? Did you get the carpets cleaned? 'Cause I know Mom's all about that, so I want to make sure we're ready to go.
Well, yeah. I got the gutters clean. That's about it.
That's it? Well, when I said weed whack and all that and the carpet, I kind of meant like the Manscaped 4.0. It's a little more personal.
I understand. Yeah.
Works awesome.
Have you tried this?
I have tried it and it works wonders. It really does. Yeah.
Okay. This is pretty cool. And see, it comes with an LED light, and I understand it's waterproof.
It is waterproof. It works well. I tried it. It's a good product. It's a great product. I've tried other ones, and they're just so noisy, and they don't cut very well.
Wow, that's really good, Mike. Where do we get this?
Well, you can get it at manscaped.com, and while you're at manscaped.com, you know that we got a code, so we get it cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of a discount can we get?
We can get it at label-free 20, and it gives you 20% off the product, and it gives us free shipping. And I've tried some of the other products there because they got these all new premier products. Like this here, it's a deodorant.
Now, is it for underarm or other places or?
I tried, but it's for the underarm.
Okay.
That's where it's at. And you can also get it at manscaped.com. Same code. We use the code again. Label free 20. Label free 20%
off and free shipping.
Free shipping. I mean, how can you go wrong with that, right?
Wonderful.
So you said something that I want to highlight, and then we're going to get into your current business that you have. You said that it's even more easy for people to start a business today because they can do it from home. What do you mean by that? Just so maybe we can educate people and just because that sparked curiosity in my mind. I know what you mean,
Right.
But let's teach the audience, what do you mean by that as a successful entrepreneur?
Well, I've reinvented myself over the years many times over. I mean, when we sold the restaurants, we sold a few of them to Taco Bell when they wanted to come into Puerto Rico. So we had the market locked down in all the major food courts. And then, so I got into the corporate world for many years. I was, became a, vice president of a big company. We were generating, I had $1 billion in sales for them over about 8 years
Wow.
with the internet marketing team that I developed at that time. And then all of a sudden that came to a dead halt in 2008. I mean, it was gone. It was over. I fired 2,000 staff, 2,000 people, plus I got fired. And then I had my best year ever. I mean, I sold my house, my car, my boats, my motorcycle, my furniture. It was one of my best years ever. I sold sales years ever. I sold everything I had. Started all over, and then it was like, okay, do I get the job and burn the candle? Are you willing to burn the candle at both ends? And if you are, you can have a corporate job and start your own business of some sort, especially online today, and you can. But you got to be willing. You've got to have a drive like nobody else. You got to be willing to burn that candle at both ends, and you've got to educate yourself on, but there's so much technology today that makes it easy to, have your website built.
Yeah.
It's so easy to hire people all over the world to outsource things to do your logos, build your website, set up your automation. A few years ago when I started, I've been in internet marketing since 1996. And back then it was before Google, before Facebook, before everybody else. I mean, you had to be it was hard. There weren't all these tools to build a website in 15 minutes. There wasn't all these sales funnel builder, and customer relations management, CRM platforms that are easy to use. In today's world, setting up your technology is the easy part. Now it's, do you have a good idea, good product, good service that you can deliver? And if you have that, then you can do it better than others or stand out from the crowd with what I'm going to talk about next. You can help you be successful.
I love that. So how did you like working for corporate versus being an entrepreneur?
At the time that I was in it, I had structured myself with a unique deal because I had kind of I convinced the management of the company that I was an expert at the internet marketing, which they did not have at the time. So I had a unique employee / business owner relationship with this firm. So it was awesome. I mean, as I generated them $1 billion in sales, I was getting a nice piece of it, and different than any other employee in that entire company, because I did take them from zero to hero with internet marketing back in the day, from 2000 to 2008. They had struggled. They had failed at everything they had done on the internet prior to the year 2000 when I came on board, and convinced them that I was the guy to solve the problem, and I did, and I got rewarded for it. But when it ended, it was like, so I did have kind of a quasi entrepreneur relationship with them, although I had an employee salary plus a bunch of bonuses. But going back to being an entrepreneur was obviously still the best passion. Now I get up in the morning and I really love what I do because it's about helping entrepreneurs around the world. I still live by the Zig Ziglar motto: help enough other people get what they want in life, and I'll get what I want. So every day it's about helping entrepreneurs succeed, whether they use our services or not. And we have a Facebook group with almost 28,000 business owners in the group that we're supporting and helping and training to grow their businesses. And then, we're rewarded as well. I help them harvest plant their seeds and harvest their crop. And I participate in that. So it's fun.
I love it. So we're going to get into what you do now, but I feel like there's a book that is in the works for you. Are you going to be writing a book anytime soon?
As a matter of fact, yes.
I knew it. I love talking to people, and I can tell that they've got such a great story that they're going to be publishing a book. Oh, I can't wait for that. You'll have to keep us posted so that you can come back and let the audience know. But tell us about marketingboost.com, because our whole world is about marketing with social media, internet, all that stuff. Like, you have got to have, your business has got to have some kind of form of social media marketing in some way, something to incentivize or did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Incentivize your customer, your avatar, whomever. So tell us about what Marketing Boost does and how you help other entrepreneurs.
So I know we're probably getting close to running out of time. So I'm going to try to speed this up. But first, let me tell the story of how Marketing Boost came about. We were in the travel space, my partners and I, and again, I have business partners in the travel space. We were growing a very successful company that was becoming one of the fastest growing travel sites in North America. And we wanted video testimonials. We were like scratching our heads. How could we get people to go through the extra step of filming selfie videos from the hotels, the resorts, the beaches of the world, and so that we could use those and leverage that all over our websites to sell more travel. And so we came up with an idea to offer an incentive, a 3-night bonus trip for free if they would give us a video review of the hotel and brag about their brand and brag about ours. So here's the key, and mind you, what I'm going to say next is a tip that any business owner can take away with and run with immediately, and that is we would do a survey. We came up with an idea to do a survey with each client when at the peak of their happiness, the day after check-in at the hotel. So we would send them a message before they arrived going, hey, we know you're supposed to be arriving today or tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful, safe trip, yada, yada. The day after check-in, we'd be sending them a text and email, automated, by the way, sending them a text and email saying, hey, how is the hotel living up to your expectations? How is this resort, doing? How are we doing with our service so far? Would you rate us on a scale of 1 to 5? And if they gave us a 4 or 5, we would automatically send them back a message saying, wonderful, we're glad you're enjoying the resort, having a good time. Would you do us a huge favor and help us spread the word about this property, this hotel? Brag about their brand with a selfie video from the pool, the bar, the beach, whatever you like best. And brag on their brand and brag on our brand. And if you would do that, we will reward you with a bonus complimentary hotel stay on us in your choice of Orlando or Las Vegas.
Love it.
And then boom, we started getting dozens and then hundreds of these video testimonials coming in. We were leveraging them all over our website, generating dozens, thousands of additional sales.
Yep.
And but then as those people were raising their hand months, later saying, hey, we want our free trip. We want to use our free trip. We were having to go into our pockets to pay for those free trips.
Right.
And now we thought, well, this is great. We're leveraged this wonderfully. Now we got to pay for these rooms.
Right.
How could we reduce the cost of that? So we went back to our travel partners and said, hey, we know you've got a problem and we can solve it.
Right.
We know that your hotel, let's be real, your hotel is not full year round. You're full on certain weekends. You're full for holidays. You're full for peak season, Easter, New Year's, Christmas. But 70% of the year, 30% of your rooms, at least 30%, go empty.
Yeah.
So we would like to help you solve that by putting warm bodies in those rooms, couples, individuals, families that are going to spend money at the restaurant, the bar, the casino, the spa, the gift shop. They're going to spend money, they're going to upgrade room types, book additional nights, refer friends, come back next year. And
Post on social.
Yeah, exactly. And so they bought into that. And we first focused on Vegas and Vegas and Orlando.
Okay.
And so that we could fulfill our own trips. So we got a few hotels participating, and now we were fulfilling the complimentary stays that we were giving away. And then we thought, wow, can you imagine if we had dozens of destinations around the world and if we had hundreds of hotels participating, we'd have another standalone business. So that's what we eventually did. It became what is called marketingboost.com today. We now offer complimentary hotel nights from 3 nights up to 7-night stays in over 125 destinations around the world, like 5 nights in Cancun, Mexico, 5 nights in Hawaii, 7 nights in Phuket, Thailand, 7 nights in Bali, 3 nights all in
Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Where do I get those free trips?
There you go. Jeez, 3-night stays all over the U.S., 30 destinations in the U.S. to choose from. And so then we have hotel savings cards and restaurant savings vouchers. So the next step is, okay, great. You can get Marketing Boost for $37 a month. As an entrepreneur, it's only $37 a month. So we made it a no-brainer as well for the business owner to join. They're not typically our competitor. We're not the first to get in the travel incentive business. There's been many companies for decades doing this. But we decided to do it totally different. One, we're not selling individual certificates, which our competitors do sometimes to as much as $100 a piece.
Yeah.
2, there's no timeshare presentations or anything like that your client is going to ever have to do. 3, we're the only one that built an online platform so the consumer can, after they receive the complimentary hotel stay from your company for whatever your call to action was, They pay an activation fee, which, by the way, the activation fee covers the government taxes. The government's always going to get paid.
Right.
When
for
somebody
sure.
checks into that room, they expect to get paid. They don't understand discounts. They expect to get paid for the average, retail rate of that hotel.
Yeah.
And so there's an activation fee which covers the government taxes. And then the client logs into a website. They have 18 months to select travel dates, put in their preferred travel dates, see the hotels participating, click it, book it, and get instant gratification. So that's how easy it is to use for the consumer or for the Marketing Boost member who wants to test one of our incentives. And so it's a win for the resort. We've helped them fill what would have been otherwise been unsold hotel rooms. It's a win for the client who gets a complimentary hotel stay. They're of course, they got to pay their own airfare, their own food and beverage, and the government fees and taxes, which is what we teach our members on how to do a proper disclosure. So when you give away one of these incentives, we teach you to, you should disclose. Okay, look, I'm giving away the free trip, but you're on the hook for your own airfare, your own transportation, your own food and beverage, and of course the government taxes.
Right.
And then what else? And then it's a matter of how do you use these? Because a lot of business owners would be like, well, I'm not in the travel space. How would I use a travel incentive to enhance my business? And there's a million ways to skin that cat.
Can you give just an example, a brief example, because it's almost time to wrap things up. What would be a good, just give us an example of one of your clients that used your service that it helped boost their business? Sure.
Here's a guy who went from generated almost $500,000 in 5 days. So I'll tell you this story. Yeah. He had a subscription model. He already had hundreds of people paying him $97 a month for his tips. With this subscription model on how to sell, when to sell, buy stock, crypto, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And so this was all on Telegram. He built a pretty big following. He found Marketing Boost and he came up with a campaign to say, hey, if you become a annual member of mine, what he called, something like a platinum platform or whatever, if you become a platinum member, we give you the 13th month free, plus we'd give you your choice of 6 days and 5 nights in Cancun or Hawaii when you pay for a year in advance. Or if you pay for 6 months in advance, you can select from 3 nights in Orlando or Las Vegas. Or whatever destination he gave him.
Sure.
He had over 350 of them pay him the annual membership, which was over $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 each. He had another 150 or so pay him for 6 months in advance, almost $700 each. So he generated nearly $500,000 in 4 days with that first promotion, and now it's a part of his ongoing process.
That's amazing.
He gets people for the $97 a month, and then later offers them the opportunity to become annual or 6 month.
I have some people I want to introduce you to help their business, because I think that would be a great compliment to what they do, since I know they do subscription based types things. But that is awesome. I'm now I'm trying to think how I can use what you do to incentivize my audience and my business. So that's awesome, Marco. Thank you for sharing your story and all these amazing things you're doing. I'm excited to hear about this book. Where can people find you, connect with you, learn more about everything that you do?
Just go to marketingboost.com and get a 7-day free trial. And then after that, it's only $37 a month. And I recommend you give yourself a trip to Cancun first, because it's one of our most amazing destinations right now with AAA 4 diamond resorts that are participating. So marketingboost.com, and that's it.
Awesome. And so are you on LinkedIn if people want to connect with you professionally?
I am on LinkedIn. Join our Facebook group. That's free as well. We're Marketing Boost Facebook group with 28,000 members there as well.
That's amazing. And do the members in the Facebook group support each other with how they just talking about their ideas and how this is successful for them?
That's exactly what we do there. Yeah.
Awesome.
So they're peer-to-peer help with ideas on how to use these incentives. And then we're putting on webinars and training and introducing a lot of these podcasts that I'm on and stuff in the group as well, so we can talk on more ideas.
All right. Well, Marco, thank you so much for sharing all your story and all that great stuff. You guys, I'm going to put all those links in the show notes, so do not hesitate to reach out. Sounds like a fabulous opportunity. I know a lot of you are entrepreneurs and a lot of you offer a lot of subscription-based services or things of that nature. So go check it out. This is a great tool to use for your business. And I think your clients or soon-to-be clients would appreciate you a lot for a free trip. So I'm loving it. Thank you you again, Marco. I look forward to hearing from you about your book and bringing you back to share that with the audience. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to comment, share, subscribe, follow, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.